This episode this week, guys. The name on the marquee has got to be Bobby King Green, who this past weekend, Saturday, October 7th, at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the main event of UFC Fight Night, defeated Grant Dawson by knockout. The official time, get this, 33 seconds of the very first round. Oh my goodness, what an exclamation point from Bobby Green. Mark, start us off here. Give us your take on this very impressive, very quick fight from Bobby Green.
Bobby King Green. So happy for this man. He finally gets his main event spot, and he delivers in spades. Could not have scripted it any better. Huge underdog going in. Fighting a guy who's undefeated in the UFC, has one loss in his whole career, and he puts him out in a matter of seconds. I mean, it was beautiful. It was typical Bobby Green. His movement, the fluidity of his stance, the hands-down approach, it kind of all came together in this one shot where he had kind of just changed stances. It was a short, straight left that put Grant Dawson down. The follow-up obviously put him out, and Bobby Green has the biggest performance of his entire, I don't know if storied is the right word. That's what I was going to say, but certainly long career. Definitely a bitter pill to swallow for Grant Dawson. He was getting his push. He had made it to the main event scene. Obviously, he was the big favorite going into the fight. He's the guy getting hyped. I'm sure he feels like if he got to run that back, it could go much differently, and that he just got caught. And he may not be wrong, but that's why MMA is the best sport in the world, because you can get that type of matchup, and Bobby Green can step in there and do what he did. So that was fantastic. I do wish he called out Max Holloway. He was talking about fighting him pre-fight, about the idea of having Max come up to 155 and just see who's the better boxer. And I wish he threw it out there, because he had a huge moment on the mic, and if he was ever going to call out a big name like that, who maybe he shouldn't necessarily be fighting, that was the moment to do it. So I wish he did. I know that sounds like a mismatch name-wise, but to see those two box would be fantastic. But he didn't. But either way, huge night for Bobby Green, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Omar, Bobby Green hands Grant Dawson only the second loss of his career, the second knockout of his career, which is also only the second loss of his entire career. What do you make of this emphatic win by Bobby King Green?
I thought it was obviously a great performance from Bobby Green. I don't really know how much I want to take away from it from the Grant Dawson side, right? There wasn't really that much of a fight. It was very quick. Grant Dawson got caught. To Bobby Green's credit, the switching of the stances, making that lead hand his rear hand, and then shooting it off completely, putting a little bit more power and hip movement behind it. It didn't really look like much on camera, but it caught him right in the chin, and it was a rear hand by the time it threw. It was no longer the jab hand. So it was beautifully done by Bobby Green. It really was. But there wasn't a lot of fight there, right? So it's difficult to know what to make of it from the Grant Dawson perspective. There are things about that, the way he reacted to the punch and sort of the turtling immediately and things like that. Maybe the punch was worse than even it seemed, even to me. But I guess I expected a little bit more fight back. You know what I mean? A little bit more struggle from Grant Dawson. Mm-hmm. But he turtled up relatively quickly right after that shot. So it must have been a solid one from Bobby Green. He does, 4-ounce gloves make a difference. So, great performance from Bobby Green. Really excited to see where he goes from here. He's got some really good momentum in this later half of his career.
When Bobby Green puts it all together, and when his stand-up is shining, he looks like he could beat anybody at lightweight, or he could at least hang and be in there with anybody.
Yeah,
and he's exciting, man. He's like us, like a dark horse for like the division's most exciting guy.
Yeah, dude, we say this all the time about him, but his record could be so much different. Like I'm just scrolling back through it now. Obviously, Dober and Islam beat him truly and cleanly, but Fiziev was a close competitive fight. Moises, I thought he beat, and that's a loss on his record. Trinaldo, I remember, I think I thought he or at least that one was very close. Your car close. I remember thinking he might have won that fight. Like, there's a lot of losses on this man's record that could have very easily been wins. So he has always been able to hang with these guys. He just, I think, it might have been DC said this on the broadcast, like that he always gets these chances where it's like we could finally have the Bobby Green breakthrough, and it just, for one reason or another, it doesn't happen, and it finally did.
Right. Yeah. Let's talk about where Bobby Green goes from here potentially. Mark, you alluded to the fact that he missed a potential great shot, call out of Max Holloway in the cage, although I think Max might have some plans now that everything is in flux.
Oh, does he? I don't know this. What does he have?
Omar,
can we share this? Does it have to wait for the sphere?
Does he have something? Do I have something?
Oh, Mike knows breaking news.
All
What
of
is
the
it?
mix-up. I saw it on the internet.
Oh,
So
we
it must
talked
be
about this a while ago, actually. Yeah, he's with Josh Emmett for Orlando in UFC.
What?
What?
Max Holloway.
He's with Josh Emmett.
Fighting Josh
He's
Emmett?
fighting Josh Emmett for UFC Orlando.
When did that get announced? That's gross.
I saw
September 13th. Or around that time.
No, I saw.
No, dude,
because
he
of-
doesn't have a fight booked. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, here we go. Because of the reshuffle, because Volk is fighting Islam now. Volk was going to be fighting,
Oh, Topuria?
so now
Yeah.
Max is fighting Topuria for the interim belt.
No,
Oh,
that's only if
that's-
Volk loses.
That's only if
That's what-
Volk
that-
loses.
That's what broke today. Yeah.
Oh, that's only if Volk loses. I thought
If-
that was made.
Well, that doesn't make
So
any
what
sense.
Ariel broke today was that what he's hearing is that the plan will be if Volk wins and is relatively unhurt, he will still fight Topuria. But that if Volk loses, then Topuria will fight Max for an interim title.
Oh, my bad. I thought that was like announced in like the new plan because everything's getting reshuffled.
Yeah. But that did break today, so I wasn't really factoring that into the fact that over the weekend I was hoping for the Max call out. But yes. But anyway, to go back and answer your question that you were posing there, dream fight talk aside, the more realistic one that I also love, that I keep seeing thrown out, and I've even heard Bobby Green mention now, is the idea of fighting Dan Hooker. And I think that is a fantastic fight in and of itself, and another one I'd love to see. And Hooker, I believe, actually commented on it as well and said he's interested. So sign me up for that one.
Omar, any other ideas for Bobby King?
No, I would agree. Dan Hooker was talking about it. He was talking about doing it in December. Or I guess they were talking about doing it in December, which would be a relatively quick turnaround, which I love, and get one in before the year's end.
Real quick, I know just from glancing at it. Obviously, he fought Makhachev, who's all the way up at the top with the belt. I know that Bobby Green fought and lost to Poirier. I'm trying to look at the rankings for lightweight. Who else has he fought at lightweight in the rankings?
It's in the top.
That's in the
Fiziev.
rankings. So he lost to Fiziev.
That would be it
That's right.
Yeah.
in terms of ranked
He
fighters.
fought Dober. He lost to Dober.
Dober's not ranked, though.
Oh, he's still not ranked?
No.
No.
God, I love fucking Drew Dober.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, Bobby Green, like I was alluding to before, such a great matchup for so many guys. And aside from 3 guys in the top 15, there's a lot of potential matchups for him
Yep.
now that he's kind of cracked into more and more sort of a primetime spot here. Let's talk quickly about Grant Dawson. As I said before, Bobby Green hands him only the second loss of his entire career. His record now falls to an abysmal 20-2. Omar, what do you think could be next for Grant Dawson?
I mean, so I think the UFC has him officially now at 15, so he's still within that top 15. So it wouldn't. I would still want to see him fight somebody in the top 15. The problem is they have Bobby Green ranked at number 13. So short of giving him Matt Frivola, I think again, right? Because they've already fought, I believe.
They haven't fought, but Frivola's booked against Benoit Saint-Denis.
Which wouldn't be. You know what? Let's go with that. The win, maybe the loser of Frivola and Saint Denis. Probably a good fight.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Anything
similar
else you
vein
guys?
for me.
Yeah,
I think that you put him back in there against another dangerous guy. You know, like as good as his record
totally.
is, if you put the Ismagulov win aside, there's not a ton of big names on there as great as Dawson has looked. So I think you get him in there against another dangerous high level dude and kind of try to see what we do have in Grant Dawson after he fell so flat in this one. So I am going to go with Jalen Turner for that reason.